Hello, I'm Tim. My company is Sports and Touring, and it is my great pleasure to introduce you to another beautiful Jaguar F-Type. This time it's a 2018 R-Dynamic, the V6 supercharged 374 horsepower version, looking stunning in Santorini Black and sitting on 20-inch Gyrodyne wheels. I would have loved to have been there the moment that Jaguar decided to go ahead and develop the F-Type as a production car. Following on from the truly iconic D-Type and E-Type, there was a whole world to live up to. They had to produce a car which looked superb, eye-catching, stunning, with classy lines which spoke of quality. And they had to produce a car which drove very fast and handled impeccably. But more importantly, I would say a car which had to engage the driver, which had to make every inch of the road under the tyres a pleasure. And the F-Type absolutely does that. It's a car which, once you're behind the wheel, takes you from A to B effortlessly and thrillingly. It's a car which eats long distance drives without any problem, but makes a 5-minute trip down a country road an absolute thrill. And then it's our great pleasure as specialists to come across an example like this. It's a 2018 car, it's an R-Dynamic, one of the early facelift models, in the higher powered V6 form with 376 horsepower under the bonnet. And this example in Santorini Black, also known as Ultimate Black, and sitting on these beautiful Gyrodyne wheels, which are freshly refurbished with a full bare metal strip and powder coating. And in Jaguar Technical Grey, they set off this car, which otherwise, could be too black. With black gloss wheels on this car, it would just be a little too solid. And so for aesthetic reasons, we've gone for Jaguar Technical Grey for these wheels, and I am so pleased with how it looks. This particular example as well is absolutely loaded with features, with optional extras. The factory price of it was very high indeed, and we'll point out some of those as we go around the car. Let's take a look inside. The car comes, of course, with 2 remote key fobs, one with a leaper keyring and one with a growler keyring. That's the growler there, the Jaguar face. But provided the key fob is somewhere about your person, you don't need it in your hand to unlock this F-Type because we have the keyless entry system as one of the options. Press that button and the door handle opens, the door unlocks, and the power fold mirror deploys into position. And mentioning the power fold mirror, let me show you there right in the top corner of the mirror, the blind spot information system display, which tells you about closing traffic coming from behind. That's one of the other many options on this particular car. Opening the door, and we can see this beautiful, luscious red leather, which features on the door cards, on the seats, and on the armrest in the center console there. A beautiful and very classic color combination here in this interior. And on the theme of options, we have the Meridian sound system and the full multifunction memory electric seats, both expensive and very desirable extras. Turning to the interior, and these are the Jaguar Performance seats, quite a rare option in themselves, but in heated and cooled form, which these seats are, they really are exceptionally unusual and a great find. The weather is getting hotter in British summers, and until you've driven with cooled seats in the heat, you don't know the pleasure that it brings. Sitting down into an F-Type again, it's always a real pleasure to do. This beautiful cockpit, that gorgeous, simple instrument binnacle, the multifunction steering wheel, this beautifully laid out, very ergonomic center console. And just looking around the cockpit, we've got the center armrest under that, a little stowage compartment with 12-volt supply and USB connectors for the multifunction audio system. We've got the twin cup holders. On the centre console here, buttons for the Eco Stop Start, the button for manually deploying the spoiler, and we've got the traction control off and the switched adaptive sports exhaust button. So another feature on this car, of course, is the switched exhaust. It comes on automatically in dynamic mode, but you can select it independently there. The beautiful shift stick, a real feature of the F-Type. And here is the push button stop start. So we'll get the engine running. As we do that, we'll see the instrument panel do its little flying display, and we will see the centre air vent pop up as well. Turn the stereo down. The engine over revs for a few moments in order to protect the catalytic converter. And there's the centre vent up. I'll close the door. And here we are with the engine running. We can take a look around the cockpit a little further. We can see immediately we've got the dual zone climate control. Here is the cooled and heated seat function for each of the seats. We've got the electric front windscreen, electrically heated front windscreen, another very desirable option. The beautiful shift stick, which with the trigger on the front moves us into drive, across into sport, gives you that manual shift there. Also, of course, you have the manual shift anytime you need it on the flappy paddles. And here is the driving mode selector switch, so we can go from normal driving mode into dynamic mode. The instrument panel turns red to show us we're in dynamic. We can go back out of dynamic mode and then into the very useful rain, ice, snow mode. Not a mode that is particularly good on a lot of production cars, but on the F-Type it really is helpful with this powerful rear-wheel drive car on slippery roads. The infotainment package, of course, from the home screen here we can select our audio entertainment. That includes radio, online media, the media library, and radio-wise we've got FM and DAB. There's Bluetooth music streaming as well, of course, from your phone. That's how I usually listen these days. We've got the vehicle settings, which takes you through all of the configurations that you can apply as the driver. Parking sensors on and off. We've got the reversing camera, which is very helpful for manoeuvring into tight spaces, along with the front and rear parking sensors, which tell you about the objects around you, of course. The climate control system there, media again, and Bluetooth telephone, of course, for making and receiving calls on the move. And then satellite navigation. You'll be able to configure the satellite navigation to your Jaguar account and enjoy all of the features there. A stunning cockpit ergonomically. The multifunction steering wheel is beautifully laid out. There is the multifunction control on the left for the menu function and so forth, and Bluetooth telephone. Over here on the right we've got the cruise control and speed limiter, as well as the switch for the heated steering wheel, another enormously popular option, but an expensive one, and one that is rare to find. And again, this vehicle in particular is just packed with these extra cost options. It is one of the very best equipped F-Types we have ever come across. And that includes, of course, the very desirable panoramic roof, which lets the light flood in when you wish to enjoy it, but has this very simple sliding screen for days when maybe the sun is a little too hot. A great place to sit, and this a great example of the F-Type. Around on the passenger side, and two-stage unlocking is enabled on this car for security and safety. So again, we can press the button, the handle pops out, and there again is a door card, almost exactly as it left the factory, in just stunning condition like the rest of the cockpit. The carpets, the upholstery, these beautiful performance seats in just impeccable condition. You'd usually expect to see some wear on the seat bolsters, but these seats are in absolutely fabulous order. The dashboard itself, beautiful. There's the glove compartment as well. The F-Type is a sports car rather than a grand tourer, I dare say, but nonetheless, it has a very useful boot space. We unlock there, and lifting the tailgate, we can see a sizable area. Better to pack soft bags if you're touring in an F-Type, particularly to make use of the space here out behind and indeed in front of the rear wheel arches, where there's plenty of room if you're into fishing or golf, for example. You can get your long fishing rods or golf clubs into that space very easily. There's a useful compartment under the floor here too, with extra stowage space. And then over here on the left, we've got the battery compartment with the locking wheel nut and the gunk for the tyre kit. All in very good order, carefully looked after and ready to go touring. Under the bonnet, and we have Jaguar's supercharged V6 engine, in this example producing 374 brake horsepower and driving through the exquisite 8-speed automatic gearbox with those flappy paddles. This car goes from 0 to 60 in 5.1 seconds, and if you're fortunate enough to be in Germany on the Autobahn, the top speed that you will achieve is 171 miles an hour. But it's not just about numbers in an F-Type, it's about the handling, it's about the whole experience of being in a beautiful machine, driving rapidly, briskly, in a balanced way, feeling the car respond, reading the road ahead, and being connected. That, I think, is the thing that strikes me most about the F-Type. It really connects me with my driving and with the road in an enormously rewarding and pleasant way. Service history on this car, by the way, is great service history with Jaguar main dealers. We can talk you through that, details readily available, and we'll chat you through the history of the car. We always, of course, place a great deal more emphasis on condition than we do on history in terms of keepers. You know, much better to have a car which has been cherished and very carefully looked after by a greater number of keepers than a car which has been owned by one individual for a long time and has not had the care that it deserves. So thank you ever so much for watching. It's been a great pleasure to show you another beautiful F-Type. We're Sports and Touring. We're just outside Andover in Hampshire. We're open 7 days a week by appointment only. You can telephone, email or WhatsApp us if you're interested in the car, if you'd like to come and see it in person, or if you'd like to arrange a video call. It'll be our pleasure to chat to you if you've got a car that you need to dispose of. We'll give you honest and frank advice about part exchange or selling privately, or in fact the best way to achieve the best value with the minimum inconvenience. And if you need to talk about finance, we can do that as well. We're authorised and regulated by the FCA. Do please have a look at our reviews in Auto Trader. We're extremely proud of our achievements, and we do look forward to hearing from you very soon.